Hi guys, Hamster here. Got a piece of gear I was going to share with you guys. If you may be in the market for a bipod. Bipod is a useful tool and very practical. If you're in the market for a bipod and are considering a bipod, this may be something you want to consider. Now I have here in front of me a few of my bipods. These are Harris bipods. And I gotta say, I'm extremely happy with the Harris bipods. I have not had any of them let me down. No failures whatsoever. It works fantastic. They're rock solid. There is one drawback to the Harris bipods, and that is if you're going to attach it to a firearm with a Picatinny rail. If you're attaching to a sling swivel stud, which is example right here, if you're attaching to something like this, the Harris is fantastic. If you're attaching to a 1913 Picatinny rail, well then that's where you run into a problem. And I'll show you right here on this Harris here. This Harris here is a standard Harris with an aftermarket knob. This is a Alpha Bravo aftermarket lever here. But other than that, it is a standard Harris bipod. And it is designed to attach to that swing swivel stud. And what it does is, with this mechanism right here, it has a little set screw which drives up against the base, pulling this assembly down. So this piece here goes up through the base, which sits against the stock, and it comes up and it will grab onto that stud. It will grab on and then pull down, and it locks this up beautifully. Works fantastic on a rifle with a sling stud. Problem is, if you don't have a sling stud, you got a rail on your rifle, you have two options. You either need to buy an adapter to put a sling stud on your rifle, or you need to convert this to work with the Picatinny rail. Okay, you have a couple options. You can buy an adapter, mount on the rail that has a stud on it, then this will clamp onto it. It's going to add weight, it's going to add extra bulk, and you get the cost of that adapter. Plus, to be effective on the swivel models, you need an aftermarket knob. The factory knob is a teeny little knurled knob that you cannot get enough tension with your bare hands. So you're going to need an aftermarket knob, but I highly recommend getting the swivel. You really need the swivel unless you're shooting off just a bench every day. If you're shooting off a bench every day, then you can probably get away without it. If you're shooting in the real world, you're going to need the swivel model. And then hence you're going to need an aftermarket knob. And the knob, I got two different models here with aftermarket knobs. One's a pod lock. It's the original aftermarket knob, and this is the Alpha Bravo. It's kind of a clone of the pod lock. I have one of each. But you will need to convert this to work with the Picatinny rail. So either, like I said, either you add a stud to your rail, or you need to add an adapter to your Harris. And here's a Harris right here, which has an adapter added to it. Basically, this part here, it was removed. You just pull this simple clip off here, and this comes right off. And it can always be put back on. It could be put back. It's not permanent. And this is an adapter here, so it will go onto a rail. And this is a throw lever mount. This is a quality mount. You can see here, it's bolted up to the bottom. It's two pieces. It has a base which bolts to the Harris, then has the rail adapter which bolts to the base. So you can see here how much bulk it has added to the bipod. Now, how does it function? It functions fantastic, but it does raise up the rifle another 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. But it does allow me to put it on a rail, and it does allow me quick detach. Unlike if you put a sling stud on the bottom of your rifle, you're going to use the Harris, you're going to use the little knob. It's not going to be real quick on and off, but it will work fine. So you've got to spend the money on an aftermarket knob and an adapter. Well, there's one way around that, and that's from a company called LaRue Tactical. Now what LaRue has done is they've gone and taken the time-tested, proven Harris bipod and basically replace the top half of the Harris bipod with their quick connect lever system. So basically what we have here, you have the Harris bipod, you have this base metal here which goes on this pivot shaft, and you have so you have, let me loosen this, so you have the same upper metal here. It's the same pivot shaft. Basically from this pivot shaft up is all LaRue, everything else down is Harris. So you can buy these bipods already done from LaRue, and you can get whatever size legs. You can get like this one here has the notch legs. You can get the notch legs, you can get the standard legs. This is a 6 to 9. You can get you know, the longer ones, the shorter ones, you know, whichever one will suit you lengthwise they have. But basically, I hope you can see this here, from this pivot point up is all billet aluminum made by LaRue. So now you have a Harris bipod designed to go on a rail that you don't have to convert. It uses the quality LaRue throw lever. It has the built-in recoil lug. It goes on, locks up tight, and then has the locking device on there so it stays put. But it can be easily taken off in a second, put on in a second, so you don't have to keep it on your rifle all the time. When you need it, you can put it on. When you don't, you can take it off. It's rock solid. Also, you can see this gigantic knob on here that LaRue put on. So they've addressed the problem of the small knob, and this knob you can easily be adjusted from the shooting position. And if you're able to get enough tension on it to lock it up rock solid, you can get it to where it's free. You can get it to where it has enough tension and you can move but stay steady. But this is I think a best of both worlds. It's the bottom half of the Harris, and it is a genuine Harris. It's not a knockoff. And then the top half is from LaRue Tactical. So now you have a Harris bipod designed from the ground up to work on a Picatinny rail. So you won't have to go out and purchase an adapter, or you won't have to put an adapter on your rifle to adapt it to the Harris. Plus the aftermarket knob situation has already been taken care of for you. So if you're looking for a bipod and you were thinking Harris, but you have a Picatinny rail, take a look at LaRue, and I think it will save you some time and effort sourcing somehow to adapt it and an aftermarket knob, and you'll get the Harris quality with the quality of the LaRue, specifically designed for the Picatinny rail. So if you're in the market for a bipod for your AR, take a look at the modified Harris from LaRue. Thanks for watching.